chosen one. Your 8-year-old self is looking for you. Not in the way you might think, not as a memory, not as a photograph in a dusty album. They are actively searching. Right now, in this moment. And they have been searching for years. And the reason they are searching so desperately is because you made them a promise. You do not remember it, but they do. They remember it with the kind of clarity that only children possess, the kind of certainty that has not yet learned to doubt itself, and that promise is the only thing keeping them alive in the space between who you were and who you have become. This is not a metaphor. This is not poetry. Somewhere inside you, that child still exists, and they are holding a picture they drew of your life. A crayon drawing with stick figures and a yellow sun and a house that is too big, and dreams that seemed possible back when possible meant anything you could imagine. But here is what is breaking their heart. The life you are living right now looks nothing like the picture they drew, and they are starting to think it is their fault. That maybe they drew it wrong, that maybe they asked for too much, that maybe they should have dreamed smaller. If you feel something tightening in your chest right now, if something just cracked open that you have been keeping sealed, I need you to let your like be your acknowledgement, not for me, for them. For that 8-year-old who is still holding the picture and wondering if you are ever coming back. Now let me show you exactly how we got here. Because understanding the journey is the only way to find your way home. There was a specific moment when you stopped being that child. It did not happen all at once. It happened in a series of small surrenders, a series of moments where the world told you to be realistic and you listened, where someone said your dream was too big and you believed them, where you tried something and it did not work and you decided that meant you were not meant for it. The first surrender happened when someone asked you what you wanted to be when you grew up and you gave them the answer you thought they wanted to hear instead of the truth. You were maybe 9 or 10, and you learned in that moment that some dreams are acceptable and some dreams get you laughed at. So you started editing. You started curating. You started presenting a version of your future that other people could understand. The second surrender happened when you failed at something that mattered. Maybe it was a sport. Maybe it was a test. Maybe it was an audition, or an application, or a chance you took that did not land the way you hoped. And instead of trying again, you internalized it. You made it mean something about who you were, instead of something about what happened. You went from I did not make it to I am not good enough. And that belief became the lens through which you saw every opportunity after that. The third surrender happened when you compared your beginning to someone else's middle. You saw someone further along, and instead of feeling inspired, you felt behind. You saw their highlight reel and measured it against your behind the scenes, and you decided that the gap was too wide, that you had missed too much, that it was too late to catch up. The fourth surrender happened when you got tired. Not physically tired, soul tired. The kind of tired that comes from pushing against doors that will not open, from investing in things that do not return, from believing when nothing around you confirms that belief is worth it. And in that tiredness, you made a deal with yourself. You said, I will settle for stable. I will trade the dream for the sure thing. I will choose the path that does not require me to risk looking foolish. And the fifth surrender, the one that brought you here, happened when you stopped talking about it altogether. You stopped mentioning the thing you used to want. You stopped bringing it up in conversations. You stopped even thinking about it consciously, because every time it crossed your mind, it hurt. And it was easier to bury it than to keep feeling the ache of something that seemed impossible. If you just saw yourself in any of those surrenders, I need you to type the words I see it in the comments. Let it be your confession. Let it be the first step back toward the child who is waiting. Now here is what I need you to understand. That 8-year-old did not stop believing in you because you made those surrenders. They are not disappointed in you. They are not judging the choices you made to survive. They understand more than you think they do. What they do not understand is why you stopped visiting them, why you locked the door to the room where they live, why you act like they do not exist, because here is the truth you have been avoiding. Every single surrender you made because you thought it would protect them. You thought that if you stopped dreaming their dreams, it would hurt less when those dreams did not come true. You thought that if you buried them deep enough, they would stop asking questions you did not have answers for. But here is what actually happened. The more you tried to protect them by forgetting them, the more alone they became, and now they are in a room by themselves, holding that crayon drawing, wondering if anyone is ever going to come back and tell them it was okay to dream that big. They are not asking you to have it all figured out. They are not demanding that you achieve everything in the picture tomorrow. They just want to know you remember they exist. They want to know you still care about the things they cared about. They want to know you have not given up completely. Let me show you something that will change how you see the last 10 years of your life. That exhaustion you have been feeling, that heaviness that sits on you like a weight you cannot name. That is not burnout. That is grief. You have been grieving the death of someone who is not actually dead. You have been mourning the loss of dreams you decided to kill before they had a chance to disappoint you. And grief, unprocessed grief, does not just sit quietly in the corner. It drains everything. It makes joy feel like effort. It makes hope feel like a risk you cannot afford. It makes every new opportunity feel like just another chance to be let down. But here is the part most people miss. You cannot grieve something that is still alive. And that 8-year-old, those dreams, that promise you made, they are not dead. They are dormant. And there is a massive difference. Dead means gone. Dormant means waiting. Dead means over. Dormant means the right conditions will wake it up again. And if you are still reading this, if you made it this far, it means the conditions are aligning right now. Something in you knows it is time to go back. Now let me tell you about the 5 signs that you are closer to reconnecting with that child than you realize. And I want you to pay attention because these signs do not look like what you think breakthrough looks like. They look like disruption. The first sign is you have been unusually emotional lately. Things that normally would not affect you are hitting different. A song makes you cry. A movie scene stays with you for days. You see a kid laughing in a park and something in your chest aches. That is not weakness. That is the wall cracking. Dreams where you are back in your childhood home. Dreams where you are young again. Dreams where you are searching for something you cannot name but you know it is important. Those are not random firings of your subconscious. Those are invitations. Your inner child is trying to get your attention the only way they know how. The third sign is you have been thinking about people from your past. Not in a nostalgic way, in a what-if way. You wonder what happened to the friend who believed in you, the teacher who saw something in you, the version of yourself that used to take risks. You are being called to remember who you were before you learned to play it safe. The fourth sign, you have been feeling restless. Nothing is technically wrong. Your life is fine. Some days it is even good, but there is this constant hum underneath everything that says this is not it. This is not what I am here for. That restlessness is not dissatisfaction. It is your soul telling you there is more, that you are not done yet, that the picture your 8-year-old drew is still possible. And the fifth sign is the reason you are reading this right now. Something made you stop scrolling. Something made you click. Something in the title or the thumbnail or the first few seconds caught you and would not let go. That was not the algorithm. That was your 8-year-old self reaching through the noise and grabbing your hand, saying, please, just listen, just for a few minutes. Remember me. If any of those signs resonated, if you felt the truth of them in your bones, I want you to comment the words I am listening. Let it be the signal that you are finally paying attention. Now I am going to give you something practical. Something you can do today that will start rebuilding the bridge between who you are and who you were. I call it the letter home. And it is simple, but it will undo you in the best possible way tonight. Before you go to bed, I want you to write a letter to your 8-year-old self. Not in your head, on paper, or on your phone if you have to. But write it out. Start with "Dear me," and then tell them everything. Tell them you are sorry you forgot about them. Tell them you are sorry you stopped believing in the things they believed in. Tell them you understand why they have been so quiet. Tell them you see the picture they drew, and even though your life does not look like it yet, you are not giving up on it. Tell them about the things that scared you into surrender. Tell them about the moments you chose safety over the dream. Tell them why you thought forgetting them was kinder than disappointing them. And then, this is the most important part. Tell them what you are going to do differently starting now. Not a massive overhaul, not a vision board with 17 goals. Just one thing. One small thing that moves you closer to the life they imagined. Maybe it is signing up for that class you have been thinking about for 2 years. Maybe it is saying no to the thing that drains you so you have space for the thing that fills you. Maybe it is just admitting out loud to one person that you still want the thing you stopped talking about. Write that letter, read it out loud, and then keep it somewhere you will see it. Because that letter is not just words on paper. It is a contract. It is a commitment. It is you telling that child, "I am coming back for you." If this tool just gave you something concrete to hold on to, something you can actually do tonight, let your like be your confirmation. Let it tell me you are not just consuming this message, you are going to act on it. Now, before I take you to the final part, I need to talk about something that most people will not say out loud because it feels too vulnerable. But vulnerability is the only way through. So here it is. You are terrified that if you go back to that 8-year-old, if you reconnect with those dreams, you will just end up disappointed again. You are afraid that the picture they drew is not possible anymore, that too much time has passed, that you are too old, too late, too far behind, and that fear is the only thing standing between you and everything you have been aching for. So let me dismantle that fear with the truth. Your 8-year-old self did not draw a picture of your timeline. They drew a picture of your essence. They were not predicting your future. They were declaring your nature. The dream was never about becoming a specific thing by a specific age. The dream was about living in alignment with who you actually are. And that does not expire. You do not age out of being yourself. The singers who made it at 50 were not less singers at 30. They were singers waiting for their moment. The writers who published their first book at 60 were not less writers at 40. They were writers writing in the dark. The entrepreneurs who built empires in their 70s were not less visionaries in their 50s. They were visionaries preparing for scale. You think you missed it. You did not miss it. You have been in preparation. Every job you hated taught you what you do not want. Every failure you survived taught you resilience. Every year you spent playing it safe taught you the cost of not taking risks. You are not behind. You are being positioned. And that 8-year-old who drew the picture, they were not drawing what you would be at 25 or 35 or 45. They were drawing what you would be when you finally stopped running from who you are. If that just shifted something, if you felt a weight lift off your chest, if you just got permission to stop measuring yourself against a timeline that was never yours, let me know in the comments. Type the words, "I am not too late." Now, let me tell you what happens when you go back, when you write that letter, when you reconnect with that child, when you start honoring the picture they drew, instead of dismissing it as childish imagination. First, the color comes back. Things that felt gray start to feel vivid again. Music sounds different. Food tastes better. Conversations have weight. You stop sleepwalking through your life and start showing up to it. Second, the energy returns. Not the caffeinated fake energy that crashes by 2 p.m., the real energy. The kind that makes you want to create. The kind that makes you stay up late working on something just because it excites you. The kind that you thought you lost forever, but was just dormant. Third, the people shift. You start attracting different humans. Not because you changed your location or joined new groups, because your frequency changed. You start resonating with people who are also done playing small, people who remember their 8-year-old selves, people who are building the lives they drew in crayon. Fourth, the opportunities appear. Doors you did not even know existed start opening, not because the universe suddenly decided to bless you, because you are finally available for them. You were so busy managing disappointment that you could not see possibility. Now you can. And fifth, the peace comes. Not the peace of having it all figured out. The peace of being in alignment. The peace of knowing you are finally moving toward the picture instead of away from it. The peace of looking your 8-year-old self in the eye and saying, I am keeping the promise. But none of this happens if you stay in the place where you have been hiding. None of this unfolds if you keep that door locked. So here is what I need from you. I need you to make a decision right now, not a feeling. A decision. Are you going back for that child, or are you leaving them in that room? Because they will wait forever if you let them. They will hold that picture until their hands go numb. They will believe in you until believing becomes the only thing they know how to do. But is that what you want? Do you want them to spend the rest of their existence waiting for you to remember? Or do you want to walk back into that room? Sit down next to them. Look at the picture they drew and say, you were right, it is still possible, and we are going to build it together. If your answer is yes, if you are ready to go back, I need you to type the words I am going home in the comments right now. Not later, not when you have time to think about it right now. Let your fingers make the commitment your heart is afraid to make out loud. Now let me pray something over you that your 8-year-old self has been praying every night since you stopped visiting. This is not my prayer. This is theirs. I see you. I see you trying so hard to be what everyone else needs. I see you carrying weight that was never yours to carry. I see you pretending you are fine when you are not fine. And I need you to know something. You do not have to earn my love. You do not have to achieve the dream perfectly for me to be proud of you. You just have to come back. You just have to stop pretending I do not exist. I do not need you to have all the answers. I just need you to remember the questions. I do not need you to be fearless. I just need you to be willing. I drew this picture because I knew who you were. I drew this picture because I could see what you could not see yet. And I am not asking you to build it overnight. I am just asking you to pick up the crayons again, to remember what it felt like to dream without a backup plan, to imagine without immediately calculating the odds, to want something just because you want it, not because it makes sense. You think you let me down. You did not let me down. You just forgot I was here. But I never forgot about you. Not for 1 second, not for 1 year. I have been here the whole time waiting, and I will wait as long as it takes. But please, come back soon. I miss you, and I have so much to show you. If those words just wrecked you, if you feel tears you did not know were there, if something just broke open that has been locked for years, you are exactly where you need to be. Now let me tell you why this moment matters more than any other moment in your life. You are in a window. A brief window where the door between who you are and who you were is unlocked. Most of the time, that door is sealed. Survival mode keeps it closed. Responsibility keeps it guarded. Fear keeps it bolted. But something happened recently that cracked it open. Maybe it was a loss. Maybe it was a birthday that felt heavier than the ones before. Maybe it was a conversation, or a song, or a moment of quiet that let something slip through. Whatever it was, The door is open right now, and it will not stay open forever. This is not a threat. This is just the truth. Windows close. Moments pass. And if you do not walk through this one, you will spend the next 5 years wondering what would have happened if you had. So here is my question for you. What is it going to take for you to walk back into that room? What permission do you need that you have not given yourself? What evidence are you waiting for before you believe it is worth trying? Because here is what I know. You are not going to feel ready. You are not going to know how it ends. But your 8-year-old self did not know how it would end either when they drew that picture. They just knew it was true. And that is all you need to know right now. Not the how, just the true. If you are ready to stop waiting for perfect conditions and start building with what you have, let me see your like. Let it be the vote you cast for yourself, for that child, for the promise. Now, one more thing before you go. Some of you felt something shift while reading this. Some of you heard your 8-year-old self for the first time in decades. Some of you made the decision to go back. But you are going to close this tab or put your phone down, and the noise is going to get loud again. The doubts are going to creep back in. The fear is going to start building its case. And by tomorrow, this moment might feel like it happened to someone else. So I need you to do something to lock it in. I need you to send this to someone who knew you when you were 8. Someone who remembers who you were before the world got loud. A sibling, a childhood friend, a parent, if they are still here. Send it to them and say, I need you to remind me who I was. Because sometimes we need someone else to hold the picture when our hands get tired. And if there is no one left from back then, send it to someone who is in your life now. Someone who has seen glimpses of that child even when you were trying to hide them. Someone who has said, you should do that thing you keep talking about. Send it to them and say, I am going to do it. Hold me to it. Do not let this moment evaporate. Turn it into momentum. And if this message found you at the exact moment you needed it, if it felt like someone was reading your mind or seeing your life or speaking directly to the part of you that no one else can see, that is because your 8-year-old self led you here. They have been trying to get your attention for years. And today, finally, you listened. The door is open, the child is waiting, the picture is still possible, and you are not too late. Go back, pick up the crayons, and build the life they believed in. I will see you there.